It's all about the blender.
Well, I'm gonna bring Jeremy on because Jeremy's kind of been hanging out for a minute. I'm thinking I forgot about him. We bring him in.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's
didn't
all right. It's
know
getting
you.
dark too, so you need to have me on, or you're not going to see my face.
It's starting to get dark there.
Yeah, I got to come out here because my son and his
Where are
friend
you?
are
In Sweden?
Tennessee, Nashville. My son and his friend are making a
Oh,
shitload
all
of
right,
noise in
cool.
there, so I have to
That
come
was a
out
joke.
snug.
Honestly,
I'm in the woods. I'm in my tree house.
you're chilling in your treehouse. No, seriously though, Nashville's been
That's
an
cool,
area.
man. That's the Playboy, man. Nashville's awesome.
Yeah.
Normally, yeah, it's pretty cool. I wouldn't know because I don't really go out. I mean, nothing really to do now.
Yeah. Yeah, with
Uh,
everything shut down.
yeah, the idiots are still hanging out down on Broadway, though. I mean, it's still packed to the gills down there.
Oh,
They're
really?
yeah, they're
Crazy.
causing a lot of problems down there.
That's not good.
Yeah, if they could just chill out for a little while, everything could simmer down.
Yeah, and go back to normal, or at least some semblance of normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been wanting to go. I was
I
actually
don't
planning
get it.
this summer before everything kind of got shut down. I was planning on making a trip down to Nashville because I have some friends down there, and I love I just like the concept of the music scene because everyone I've met that's like in the music scene in Nashville has always been so friendly to me.
Man, I'm native, so I've watched this thing grow into what it is. The cool thing is it's really whatever you want, man. If you want jazz, there's a jazz club. If you want metal, if you want rock and roll, if you want just standard 70s, 80s covers, if you want like country, classic country, whatever you want musically, you can find it on any given night.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Even like Broadway, for instance, that's not really my scene. It'd be like Times Square for a New Yorker. But man, like more power to them. I have so many friends that make livings down there playing, and it's just hundreds of clubs, and they're all packed all the time. It's a really cool thing.
Like a lot of congestion in one area.
Yeah, it's cool. Even if you're not into it, it's still cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been researching honestly like a lot of like photography spots down there to see like where like the cool spots are. Just because I like I said, I like the scenic aspect of it, but like I said, I've never been there. It just looks really cool to me. It's like a tourist.
Well, when all this simmers down and everything's normal, come on down. Like you will have fun. I can pretty much guarantee that.
Yeah, everyone's telling me that the scene down there is great, and everyone that I've met down there has been absolutely phenomenal towards me, and it's great.
And like my family of rock and roll friends has just grown exponentially over the past 5 years. It was like for a while there was a new guy every month. Like Eddie Ojeda from Twisted Sister moved here the first week of March, which was the week before COVID. So he moved here, and then everything got shut down, but we still hooked up through a mutual friend and have had like a few 2-hour phone conversations, and I've only hung out for a few minutes because with masks on one time.
Like 6 feet apart, like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird, but it was cool.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, it's definitely like a weird era we're all in because even like trying to network with different people, even if you like kind of know them, it's still weird because it's like I can't like go to a show and like meet new people or be around kind of I guess common people. It's such a weird time right now.
Yeah. Have you done any gigs lately? When's the last time you played? What was your name again? I'm sorry. I know your name, Amy, but
yeah.
Oh, Corn.
What was that? Sorry, you broke up.
Yeah, my name is Core, bro.
Core, got it. Cool.
Core
when was
Rozzik.
the last time you played a gig?
The last time I played a gig was February 15th, Fishhead Cantina in Maryland.
Wow.
And it's funny. It was really weird. I was actually supposed to do a short run in March for South by Southwest. And one of my friends, our Truth, was a wrestler. He's also a rapper. He was in New York City in town doing PR, and we hung out briefly. And I was like, "Hey, man, I'm doing South by Southwest too." And he's like, "Nah, dog." He's like, "We got the call, coronavirus. We're off of it." And I'm like, "Wow, really? You're off of
Man,
it?" And
actually,
literally,
the
like the
cancellation
next
of South by
day,
Southwest, that was how I knew it was real, was when that got canceled.
right? Yeah. After he told me he's backing out of it, literally the next day, I made the official announcement they were done, and we were still supposed to do a headlining in Kentucky on March 18th. And I'll never forget it. It was like a week before the show. We were just like, maybe we shouldn't do it. And the venue was like, yeah, I guess we shouldn't, but we probably still could. And then I think it was literally to the date. I think on March 18th in New York, they were officially like, we're shutting down. So it's almost like even if like we hadn't canceled it, it would have been canceled for us anyway, you know? So yeah, I've been stuck home since March, man. Yeah, and being in New York is just it was hostile. I was very fortunate enough that I have a house in Pennsylvania. I actually went up there for like 2 months and just did some writing. But yeah, it's been a wild ride,
Last
man.
gig I did was in New Jersey. I did an acoustic gig with Tiffany, and she was supposed to go the next week to play South by Southwest, and we all found out that night that South by Southwest had been canceled. And yeah, I knew that it was real. And I don't know if you guys remember a tornado rolling through Nashville and basically destroying the city. So the Rock and Roll Residency was doing a benefit, man. And I mean, we had such a cool guest lineup. We had all of Hailstorm and Ray Lugier and Rachel from Skid Row and just
Awesome,
a shitload of people. We had sold more tickets than we had ever sold. I had all these awesome donations, like Gene Simmons was the first one to send me a box of cool Kiss shit, and Brian Forsythe from Kix gave me his pants that he wore on the Blow My Fuse tour and a poster where he's wearing those pants.
Wow.
I had awesome shit, and like all the companies that we work with donated something, and then we had to cancel. And now all that shit is still sitting in my living room 6 months later.
Terrible.
So then, like, you know, now the tornado is like yesterday's news, and you know, we still at some point have a show to play because we sold about 800 tickets, and it's still just kind of like hanging out there. And I don't know when, how that it's going to happen, but we do owe Nashville a show, a benefit show at some point.
Yeah, trying to reschedule that right now is so weird too, because some people are hopeful and are like, oh, well, this is getting better. And then there's other people that are like, kind of have like a doomsday kind of look at it. And it's rough right now trying to do anything.
Man, for me, in a benefit, it makes sense when everybody's comfortable, not just because, you know, I don't want to do it for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Like, the point of the benefit is to raise as much money as possible, and we're not going to do that if half the people are going to stay home because they're scared. So it doesn't make sense to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the weird thing about when this is going to proceed to business as usual. You know, it's not up to us. It's up to the people to decide when they're comfortable standing shoulder to shoulder with hundreds to thousands of strangers.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like you said, raising money for charity, for like something like that. It's not like I just want to go out and play a gig and get out of the house. There's more of a reason for it. So definitely rescheduling for that has to be tricky. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, we did a live stream last Thursday, the Rock and Roll Residency, and boy, that sure did feel good, man. Like playing with my band and just, you know, it wasn't just playing with anybody, you know, like we all really have a connection, and God, it felt amazing. And
tell me a little bit more for like the people that are watching that don't know what the rock and roll residency is. I obviously know what it is, but I
started by me and my partner Philip Schaus in 2014. So prior to that, we had a lot of tribute bands in Nashville. We had a Thin Lizzy tribute band. We had a Kiss thing every year for charity. You know, Aerosmith. We had a tribute to metal, which included like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. He had a Van Halen tribute band, which I played bass in a couple times, and you know, it was really kind of about having fun. And this was before like the tribute thing really caught on and was a thing in every city. And we have 1 month, April 2014, where he and I didn't really have shit going on. It's like, well, man, let's try a weekly thing somewhere, and you know, we'll just like pick from all these catalogs that we know. And Chuck Garrick from Alice Cooper band Visto Blanco had just moved to town. It's like, yeah, man, we can get Chuck to play bass. And we had a drummer friend of ours, David Parks, and we just did a month, and then it went well. So they asked us to stay, and Chuck left for the Motley Crue Alice tour. So we got another friend of ours, Judd Fuller, to come in, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then, you know, we had a bunch of cool guests, like, you know, Chuck had Alice Cooper come down once, and Roger Glover and Don Airey from Deep Purple came down, and so their album Infinite, there's a DVD of the making of the album, and we're on that from when they came out and played with us, which is really, really, really cool. Zach came out a couple times with Jax, and you know, and then there's all the guys that live here, like, you know, Skid Row and Mark Slaughter and Kip Winger and Damon Johnson, and I mean, the list is super long, and it just went on.
Damon Johnson's the man.
Yeah, man, he's a good guy. So we did that every Tuesday until the end of 2018, and that was like after we had toured with Gene Simmons, and then he passed us off to Ace Frehley, and then our schedule just got so busy that you can't really tell people that you're playing every week if you only play 26 weeks out of a 52-week year, you know. So we wrapped up the weekly thing, and man, we try to do a show like every 3 months or so. This is probably the longest we've gone without doing one. The last show we did was, and it wasn't even really the kind of show that we do, which is, you know, just lots of guest singers and guest guitar players and stuff. We opened for this band called the Georgia Thunderbolts and did a 45-minute set. So this is the longest we've gone without playing since 2014.
Yeah, that's the longest I've been like out, not like photographing shows and stuff. So it's weird when you come to like that. I think I mentioned this to somebody else earlier, when you come to that halt, because like you're so in the, and I know you know what this is like, you're in that mode of tour, and then I'm working on this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, COVID, and it's like this jolting stop of, wait, what's going on?
It is weird. I felt it at first, but you know, I've got a 4-year-old, so honestly, like 6 months have passed, and I barely even notice it, because, you know, I'm married with kids and stuff, and then, you know, that just takes up every single day, and it flies by so fast. It's like, holy shit, it's August. Yeah.
I feel like part of it's like, it feels like it's been a year since March, but then part of me is also like, oh my God, it's August already? Where did the time go?
You kind of notice by how long your hair's gotten.
Yeah. Quarantine was good for my hair. I totally feel
I think my hair got bigger just this whole video cast.
My hair grew like 3 inches during Emmy's podcast.
Riz.
Yeah, prior to this, man, I always looked like Randy Rhoads.
It's the humidity.
Like, you know, a short shag cut with bangs and stuff, and now like I'm starting to look like Doug Aldrich. and I don't shave that much anymore either. I've always got like some of this stuff happening.
I can actually kind of see that.
Well, hopefully you can't see that it's gray.
Oh my God! So
I just dyed my hair yesterday.
Feel that. Feel that. I did have one other question I did want to ask you, Jeremy. You mentioned that you worked with Gene for a while, and then he kind of passed you guys off to Ace Frehley. How did that happen? Like, how did you kind of get working with those guys?
So we did a tour of Australia where Ace opened for Gene, and Ace had asked Gene if he could use us because it wasn't going to be, viable for him, economically to bring his band over. And, Gene said he was totally cool with it. And between Gene and, Ace's team around him, I think Ace was kind of wanting to make a change. I can't speak for him, but I kind of get that vibe from everybody around him. And, seeing what happened, I know Gene knew that the End of the Road tour was on the horizon, and he didn't want to, he wanted to keep us employed, and he thought we'd be really good for Ace. So, he was encouraging Ace to take us on too. So after the Australia tour wrapped up, we went to Japan with Ace, and, we were doing 2 shows a day there with him. And
oh, wow.
Just went well. And, we all clicked, and he knew we knew all of the stuff, and everybody in the band sang. So the vocals were really good. And, he had, the Kiss cruise was on the horizon for him too. And so in Sydney, Australia, which was the 3rd show of that tour, Gene pulled me into his dressing room. Ace is going to ask you to do the cruise. Like, well, how do you feel about that? And he's like, live and let live. I have no ego. Gene Simmons said to me, I have no ego. I know. I swear to God, he said that to me. And
that's hilarious.
Ace didn't ask us immediately. It wasn't until we wrapped up the thing in Japan. He's just like, hey, would you like to do the cruise? I'm like, absolutely. And I've been Ace's band now for 2 years. And I started playing guitar because of Ace and Gene. I mean, they're my 2 guys. I bought my first Kiss record when I was my son's age. I was 4. And it is a trip, especially to like wake up one day and there's a video for Space Trucking, and, there's an animated version of myself. Video with Ace.
Yeah, saw that. Very cool.
It's just cool shit, man.
Yeah. It's weird sometimes, and I kind of feel that it's like, wait, I'm working with these people. This is crazy, because I find that sometimes when I'm doing photos, like when I came out and shot you with Ace in Cleveland last year, I was like, oh, whoa, what? Like, I'm photographing Ace Frehley. Like, is this real? Yeah, it's bizarre when it's like somebody that you
I
look
feel like
up to.
that pretty much every day. Like I could text him, and I have a relationship with him, and that's a crazy thing. Even Gene, like Gene's very responsive. The situations are way different. Ace shows up right when it's time to go on stage, and we play, and then like, hey, cool, see you later, see you tomorrow, and that's it. But Gene, we traveled together, we ate breakfast together, we hung out before the show, we had dinner together, we hung out after the show. He really, really liked to hang, and
right.
And everybody's got their media perception of that guy, but man, most of it couldn't be any more inaccurate. He's actually super cool, generous, extremely self-deprecating. I mean, everybody thinks of his big ego, but man, he can take a joke, and he can, he'll rip on himself too.
Yeah. I feel like some media people, not just with him necessarily, but sometimes they'll take something that somebody says out of context and kind of try to twist it into making whatever they're trying to sell sellable. So I don't really ever believe fully.
Well, look, man, I mean, he does come off super arrogant, and that is like part of his persona. I mean, the first time we did a rehearsal with him, I was scared to death, and he started taking shots at me about looking like a girl and shit like that. And eventually, I'm like, all right, I got to take a shot at Gene, and I did, and I was scared, and he loved it. He can take a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a shit talker necessarily, as long as you can kind of take the shit coming back at you. You know what I mean?
He totally can. I love that too. I really miss touring with him and playing with him, man. It was a good hang. He was always game to play any Kiss classic, like whatever. You got lyrics, and my job was to make out the lyric sheets. Like, yeah, man, I got lyrics.
Yeah.
He was down to try anything, no matter how deep it was. And like over the course of a year and a half, we did 60 different songs, which I think made it kind of as successful as it was, you know, and people would hit multiple shows because they didn't know what we were going to play. We never did the same set twice.
Yeah.
And you know, like we were able to come at it with fan aspect, because if I wasn't on the stage with him, I definitely would have been buying a ticket and I would have been at the show. So, you know, we all knew what we wanted to see and hear, and he was definitely a sport.
Right. You got to have a little bit of creative control to a degree with that too, being able to kind of help pick what you're going to play each night and not just doing the same thing.
Well, you know, like, since it's a gig and it's what we're hired to do, if Gene wanted to do the same set every night, I'd do the same set every night. You know, Ace is a little bit of a creature of habit. You know, there are always changes, but, you know, we kind of stick to something he knows. And at the same time, you know, there's a lot of songs Ace has to do. You know, Ace has to do Shock Me. He has to do 2000 Man. He has to do Cold Gin. You know, there's like some Ace standards that have to be there. And a few songs get swapped out, but, you know, the cool thing about Gene was that wasn't necessarily the case.
Yeah, I kind of see that, because like Ace, like when I think of Ace Frehley, like there's a bunch of songs like you were saying that come to mind, but not necessarily, not saying that there's not any songs that come to mind with Gene, but I don't feel like Gene's kind of held to that standard of you have to play this, and this, or
well,
like,
and he still tours with Kiss, so if you go see Kiss, you're going to hear God of Thunder. You're going to hear, even though we did Rock and Roll All Night, you're still going to hear rock and roll. There's a lot of his stuff you would hear. I mean, we did do some of those. We did do most shows. You know, I don't know. Like, it worked. But, you know, at the same time, man, there was some super, super deep shit that we did that Kiss wouldn't touch with a 10-fucking-foot pole.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're super deep cuts for, like, the diehards.
And, I mean, those are the people that are coming to those shows, too. I mean, you know, there were a few. That is a difference in their audience. Gene would have, you know, some people that were fans of the show, you know, the Family Jewels show. Ace's fans are diehard Kiss fans.
Yeah.
He's not as much of a, you know, a media personality. But honestly, man, the audiences were about the same size, other than like overseas. I've only done Japan and Australia with Ace, but, you know, with Gene, we did Japan and Europe and South America and Mexico, and, man, some of that shit was out of hand. I mean, when we landed in Bolivia at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, man, it was like 300 people at the airport waiting for us, man. That was like Beatles shit. I've never seen anything like that. It was insane.
That is crazy. That is absolutely, I couldn't even imagine that. Like 5.
That's the only time I've ever seen anything like that. And granted, I know they were there for Gene. They weren't there for us, but, you know, we walked.
Intimidating.
I'm like, oh my God. And it's 5:30 in the morning, man. Aren't you people tired?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
That would have to be nuts to just be like, oh God, like I know they're not here for me, but this is crazy. Like, what is this? Everyone's like losing their minds right now.
And then Bolivia is such a high altitude. You know, you got to drive down this mountain to get down to the city. And, you know, I saw some of these people, and then we get to our hotel, and they're waiting for us at the hotel. And I'm like, how the fuck did you beat us here? We had a police escort. How did you beat us at the hotel?
That's crazy. Holy shit. Oh my God, that is literally the craziest shit I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of weird stories, but that is absolutely fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's great, man. If you dug deep in Phil's, Ryan's Instagrams, I mean, we've got video footage of all of it. It was. I'm glad I got to see that one time.
Oh my God.
From that lens.
Like from like front row of it, just like, oh shit, this is actually happening.
And there were people hanging outside the hotel like 24 hours a day.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
It's great.
Oh my God, that's absolutely nuts. Well, thank you for coming on, Jeremy, and dealing.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Corey, it was good to meet you, man. Maybe I'll see you
Yeah, man.
around.
Good to see you. You too, brother. I hope so, man. I'll come down to Nashville and jam when it's all possible, you know? If you guys need a singer.
Yeah, man. Hit me up. Please.
I will.
You too, Amy.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. See you guys later.
See you, Jeremy. That was cool. I had a very good time on this podcast, and I appreciate you dealing with my
what a nice fellow.
What a nice fellow.
It's all good. I was gonna say, you know, he's a nice fellow. I was saying how, you know, he was saying how like it was like the Beatles when they went to Japan, and I was like, that's exactly how I feel when I go to Wyoming.
Wyoming?
It's a bad joke. Because there's like nobody in Wyoming. No, I don't know. Terrible.
Like you're in Iowa with like the cornfield somewhere. It's like, oh, there are all my fans.
Yeah.
They're like in the yard with the corn. It's fine. So
my jokes are the best because my jokes are the best because I always have to explain to them why they're funny.
Sometimes I get them. Sometimes I don't.
I know. Yeah. As long as they're funny to me.
That's how everybody is. Oh my god. So did I miss anything that you wanted to plug on here before I end the break?
Oh yeah. So I got these brand new bandanas, player.
Player? I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks sick.
Like, yeah, so it's like it's the course. Wait, this is not lined up properly. Hold on. They're so new that they need to be washed because they're like really tight. But yeah, it's supposed to be like the skull, like where the face is supposed to be. Oh, it's not even lined up right. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And the logo's there. Yeah. I'm a terrible model for my product. It's too new. But we got fresh bandanas. They're so fresh that they gotta be worn out a little bit. And I got, of course, as you got one of the prototypes, we got the snapback Devil Girl hats. And I'm hoping to produce a real commercial for it like soon enough. Maybe like next week. I'm gonna do something funny, do a little commercial for it. But yeah, we got new merch this way. You know, in these terrible coronavirus times, you can, you know, rock some cool Rozzik merch when you're like going to the supermarket.
Try to hide out from everybody.
You know, it's better to wear some cool Rozzik merch than some offensive sport team hats or something. You know, because most sport teams are kind of offensive now. So Rozzik's not too offensive yet. So you can just wear this. And no one will suspect that you're up to any trouble. They'll think you're a law-abiding citizen if you wear this.
Pull the hat down, I'm pretty sure no one would ask me about docking at any other rest stops.
Yeah, if you look really closely, it looks like I officially have no eyes. Look at that.
Yeah. But you pull it up out of the way.
You can't see me now, player.
Calm down, John Cena.
Yo, let me get that. Yo, player, you got them CBDs?
It's up to me like a sheets like that. Hey, do you listen to Dawkins?
Yeah, I'll roll into a sheets. Yo, player, let me get them mozzarella sticks. Oh, I gotta press the button and order them. Okay.
Yeah, you're just like, I can't see what I'm doing.
I can't see, player. Help me out. I want those mozzarella sticks, player. Oh man. Nah, Sheets is good in my book, bro. They got Topo Chico and made to order mozzarella sticks. You can't go wrong with Sheets.
Yeah, Sheets is like what I live on when I'm on the road. Sheets and Taco Bell. That's it.
Sheets. Yeah.
I love Sheets.
I like it so much I put it in my song. Sheets. Terrible. Terrible.
Oh my god, absolutely terrible. Oh my god. Well, thank you for coming on and hanging out with me tonight and dealing with my nonsense.
What are you kicking me off, player?
Yeah.
You're calling it a night?
Be smooth about it.
Closing up shop?
Closing up shop.
You going back into the universe?
I'm gonna go back into my dark hole. It'll be fine.
You should get like a green screen and then put like a library behind you, so you look very like like smart and stuff.
Librarian?
Yeah, like be like I'm the host and I'm a scholar. Here's my you know dictionary and thesaurus and first edition Dickens and whatever the fuck. I don't know. I'm a bozo.
You're like, this is what I do in my off time. I read Shakespeare and drink coffee. Like, that's all I do.
Yeah, no, you just gotta, just to give the show a little bit more like credibility, like, oh, she reads, yeah, like.
Because I clearly look like a librarian.
I mean, you could probably pull it off. That's how librarians look in West Virginia,
I hope you felt that blink to your soul.
You can't throw shade on me, player.
You're like, I can't see you now.
Yo, man, watch. These are gonna sell like hotcakes now because people will be like, I don't want to see nobody. I can't see, Mom. What? Wash the dishes? What player? I don't know.
You're like, I don't know what's going on now. We're just gonna pull this up. I don't want to talk to anybody. We're just gonna hide my bandana.
Pretty much, man. We gotta hide from something. If it ain't the parents, it's the corona. It's something. We gotta hide.
Corona.
Yeah. I won't take up any more of your time.
I appreciate you playing kind of unofficial co-host for this and dealing with my technical difficulties that were a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it's all good. I held it down, and this is good practice for me because I want to do my own kind of show. We might do a portion of the show might be something like this, so it's good practice. Good practice.
Yeah, be cool. Well, I'll definitely be keeping my eyes peeled for that, and thank you again for stopping on, man. I appreciate it.
All right, kick me off already.
All right. Weirdo. I can't stand that man. I just want to give everyone a big shout out for coming on and talking with me tonight, and all of the fantastic guests, and Calico for being my special guest I was teasing for a hot minute. So I've been on here for about 2.5 hours now, so I am definitely done talking for tonight. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody again for coming on, and everyone at home for watching. You guys rock. So thank you so much. And I guess stay tuned next week for some more Freaky Friday, and stay tuned for the next live stream. I will be announcing that shortly. I'm trying to confirm all the guests for that, but right now it's looking to be September 4th-ish for the next live Freak Friday. So thanks everybody again for making this a huge success, and I love all you guys, and I guess stay freaky.